Hello and welcome to episode 48 of the Championship Rounds podcast. A fantastic performance, a real coming out performance, I think, from Jaron and Ennis last night as he stops Stanionis, forces him to retire on his stall after the sixth round to unify the WBA and IBF welterweight titles. Really, really good performance, I thought. I didn't expect it to be that one-sided. I wasn't ruling out Ennis winning, but that was a really good performance.
I'm not saying I expected to be one-sided, but I said I kind of had a feeling this was going to be his come out performance.
You did not expect whatever the hell that was, though. Because holy,
A come out performance with a great, and I have receipts as well, so of me saying that. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I mean, he just absolutely dominated Stanionis. That wasn't even close. It kind of looked. If you didn't know who Stanionis was, you'd think they just pulled him off the street. That's how one-sided it was.
yeah, that was a unification fight for a ring title.
Well, I don't know. I think you just give him someone that he thinks is a tough test or a good fighter, and he'll perform well. And someone who stands in front of him, that's probably the best way to look at it.
I think Stanionis sort of got a bit disheartened because the first couple of rounds, Ennis was winning them definitely, but Stanionis did sort of catch Ennis clean with a couple of shots, and it's just like these didn't have any effect at all. And it's like then when he's throwing them, I think what round was it? The fourth or the fifth? Stanionis was having a really good round, and then at the end of it, Ennis just decides, right, I'm just going to throw loads, and he threw loads and hurt Stanionis at the end of the round. And it was just like, what can he do? He was just outmatched physically and skill wise, and it's just like, yeah, he got out jabbed. That was the impressive thing. He got out jabbed. Ennis was able to get his jab off quicker and more directly. And yeah, it was a really good performance. But yeah, really good.
I mean, he did completely take away the jab. Ennis has, it's a faster jab, usually, and it's more varied. But you would expected Stanionis to at least get the jab going. It didn't even get going at all. He couldn't close the range. Maybe that's because Ennis was on the move all the time, keeping him at range. Because his arms are much longer.
He looks so much bigger on
that. He was, and he even looked bigger on the scales when he was trained. So it was going to be crazy in the ring. It was, but that didn't really have loads to do with it, to be honest. More skill, and it's been a while since Stanionis even really hurt anyone. He seems like he should be a bigger puncher than he is. Because, the way some of his, the way he throws punches, the way his punches sound.
Because he didn't hurt Maestri. He didn't hurt Butayev. They just had close, fun fights.
Yeah, Dulorme.
Oh wow. Thomas Dulorme.
Yeah, he went the distance.
Yeah, that was just a bit too dominant. Yeah, I thought Stanionis was gonna win. I just thought it was gonna be competitive, even if it didn't go his way. But did he win a round? Did he win?
No, he didn't.
Half a round.
I think the round Talkers was talking about was round 3. And he had a fine round, but then he lost the round at the end.
Yeah.
Still the worry, I guess, with Ennis, he does get caught. And like it's fine getting hit, but it's the way he gets caught.
His
It's
defense
just
is
so bad.
disgusting.
But at least he kind of rolls with these punches. He doesn't roll with every one of them, but the ones he sees, he does roll. At least he's not getting caught clean, like flush, straight, like a Joe Joyce. But he is getting caught when he's throwing punches with his chin up in the air.
He's so open for that left hook every single time. I said it in the first round, like Stanionis couldn't get it off because he'd just get countered, and Ennis was much quicker. But like that left hook, man, landed every single time, pretty much every single time Stanionis threw it. Same thing with Chikazin in the rematch. Like same thing with Evanesian. Like it's just that shot. Like he gets caught a lot, man. It's weird because it was such a good performance, but like the how do I say this? The mistakes he's been making the last couple of fights, he hasn't rectified. But it was a career best performance. It was an exceptional performance. It was really, really good. But he hasn't rectified the glaring errors from the past two. If that makes any sense.
I mean, like he just takes the shots so well, I guess. Like it's just working, and people don't fix anything until it doesn't work. And like in his defense, like not his actual defense because it's not existent, but in his defense, I mean, like he doesn't get caught like loads, like clean like that. It's so obvious and blatant and so clean, and the work that he does is just so much better than the work that gets put on him.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, and they don't do anything to him. They don't do anything to him. Like you land one clean shot against him, you think, "Oh, it's going to do something." Then he'll just come back, and that will affect you. Like he will hurt you with something, probably an uppercut. Yeah, just
Is that because he's so much bigger though? Playing devil's advocate, is that because he is so much bigger than all these guys, or that
maybe,
he hasn't
but
a massive puncher?
well, maybe. But I mean, look at like Devin Haney, who was so massive, but he was still getting hurt at 135.
Yeah. Like no doubt he has a really good chin, but I just worry about it moving up.
Like
It's like one of those things that
yeah, he definitely hasn't fought a massive puncher.
yeah.
Like I mean, like Avanesian can punch, Villa can punch, but they're not massive punches, nor are they the gigantic size of some of these 154 fighters. Like Murtazaliev, he's massive and can punch.
Murtazaliev is sort of if you had Ennis and then upped him a weight naturally, like that doesn't make any sense. But he's draining himself to make 154 the same way Ennis is draining himself to make welterweight. Like he's huge, and if he catches you with a left hook, you got like look what happens to Zoo sort of thing. That's the worry I have, honestly.
Or even
Ennis, like
even Boachuk. Someone just punches
even the
just entirely too hard on someone who has non-existent defense. He can't flare and showboat his way out of getting hit in his mouth.
Like, he just has those defensive. Like he's a reflex fighter, and when he's not throwing, like his defense is fine. But when he's in the pocket throwing combinations, that's when he gets caught. Kind of like Amir Khan used to, and like it's so much worse when you're getting caught when you're throwing and in range. And especially with your chin up in the air and it's flush, it just looks so bad. Like maybe worse than it is, but it's just the visuals make it look so bad.
yeah. This is weird because we're sort of picking holes in him when he's just done that to Stanionis. Like, I don't want this part to be just us saying, "Oh yeah, he's got really bad defense," but like, man, he put in such a good performance. Like, he was spite. I think one thing with Ennis, his timing's getting really, really like that timing last night was so good. He caught Stanionis to the body coming in so many times, and it just completely killed off Stanionis. Like you said earlier, that he took the jab away, and that was Stanionis basically done. Then, like you could just see as soon as Stanionis couldn't get the jab off, he was done. He was getting stopped.
Yeah, the thing with a lot of these guys like Stanionis, they do kind of need to be set to punch, and he couldn't really set his feet. Like every time he got into range to throw, like Ennis just moved again. Yeah, he just couldn't get there quick enough. Like Ennis's feet so much faster. I mean, his footwork is so much better. Like his control of distance is just so much better. He's just better at everything, pretty much.
Even with his feet, he still crossed his feet a few times. Like,
well,
it's weird. It's weird. I'm nitpicking here because of how highly some people rate him, but like,
see, like crossing your feet is not necessarily bad. It just depends where you're doing it. Like as long as you're doing it out of range, like Sugar Ray Leonard, Muhammad Ali, Sugar Ray Robinson all used to cross their feet, but they would do it out of range. Like that's what you do when you're circling out of range.
yeah.
If you're doing it up close, no, that's just bad. That's bad footwork. And like, I mean, he might actually be better in the southpaw stance than he is in orthodox. Kind of like Crawford. I mean, like he might have actually stopped him earlier if he didn't keep switching orthodox.
Yeah, that left uppercut from southpaw was like beautiful. Left uppercut and the left to the body from southpaw. Beautiful.
Yeah, and it's there because Stanionis, he leans over his front foot.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like, I'm not gonna sit here and just like shit all over someone for quitting, but I mean, it was kind of a bit disappointing that he had like a bit of adversity. He got hurt once, really, well, not once, but you know, went down. Then was like, no, I'm done. That was a bit disappointing.
It was just pretty aggravating. Like at that point, I had already like thought he was gonna lose at that point. But like as soon as you get like that was like how like a minute after he got dropped, if that.
Yeah, it was like just about to go in the second half of the fight. I mean, he did take a bit of a beating, but it wasn't the worst beating you've ever seen.
And it wasn't like a flash knockdown. He took a knee voluntarily. Like you were aware of everything that was going on. You took a knee. Like,
And he was getting hurt like to the body more than the head. And like Ennis like set a high pace, and you never know how he would have been in the second half. Would he have slowed down? Probably not, but might have because he set a really high pace.
he would have probably stopped moving as much. But it really wouldn't have changed anything.
But yeah, maybe he does stop moving and like sits in the pocket more, tries to push him back, and that's where Stanionis would actually have some success and be able to get some offense going. But you know, I'm not the one getting hit by Jaron Ennis, so yeah, you know, probably do the same thing. But
His nose was also crushed.
Yeah, his nose was. I'm not a pro boxer, so you know, I set them to a higher standard of being able to take punishment.
Honestly, I'm not mad about stuff if the fight was over. Like, it is what it is.
It was just how instant it was.
To me, the fight's over at that point. Like, yeah, I don't know. I'm fine with it.
Yeah, it's like maybe he just carries on and he just takes more and more of a beating, which is probably what would have happened. But now he's always going to have that in his head, like, oh, what would have happened if I continued? Because like maybe half an hour after this fight, he would have been like fine, and he'd be like, oh, maybe I could have continued. Just a possible regret that he might have, but you I mean, like, he tried his best. And, like, that was probably genuinely him trying his best. I mean, he just couldn't do anything. I mean, that's just all there was to it. Couldn't do it.
Took away his best asset, and he's not really an elite fighter past his jab. So it's
Take away the best punch in the sport. Like, how's he gonna get anything going? So how everything he does comes from a jab. Hasn't got a jab. I don't really know how. I was gonna say I don't know how he looks without a jab, but now I do.
horrible.
Oh, well, he'd be fine without a jab, I guess, against not Boots.
Not any top fighter.
I mean, he'd be any top fighter. I mean, there's only really one, I guess, and two.
I guess shitty division, but like that performance, like I can't picture him in across the ring with someone else and fight like that and like look good.
Oh, he won't. Like, he won't fight like that against anyone else because they won't.
That's why I'm saying I just am saying like I can't picture putting that like human being in another ring.
Yeah, like they won't be able to take away a jab, and that will work.
And they won't be punching as hard. Like there won't be as big a risk in throwing recklessly, and they won't have. They won't be as big. They won't be as quick. They won't like. Yeah, Ennis is skilled, but he is just an athletic freak, man. That was just a freak of nature. Like the speed, the power, the size, the ability to actually make that weight. Like man, yeah, he smashes at every single welterweight to bits. Like I put any welterweight he'd beat comfortably. Like the Chikazian rematch was bad, like, a really bad performance, but he still won it quite clearly. And if you're looking at anybody else at welterweight, man, like there's no compelling fight for him. Like I just don't. What is there? Maybe Devin Haney, but yeah.
See, like even looking at like Brian Norman, stylistically, it would be a tougher fight, but he'd still beat him very easily. Like outside of, I guess, Devin Haney, maybe someone mentioned. I'm not mentioning Teofimo. He'd get dominated. He'd have to come forward.
I think I don't know. I think Teofimo would have a little bit of success in the first 2 rounds, but just get overpowered.
I feel like most people would have all their success right at the start. Yeah, so.
Ryan Garcia could land a stupid left hook, but like he'd probably get stopped. Like I'll be very confident in Ennis to stop him. Jin Sasaki doesn't see round 3. But Mario Barrios doesn't see round 3. Like it's just there's not just go up, man. Just go up.
Like if he wants to be undisputed, like, cool. But this has to be like a Canelo on the super middleweight. Get that out of the way.
Like
in Norman, a year at best.
Like Norman or Bar, like one or the other, in like 3 months. And the next one like 4 months. He needs to.
I'll tell you why that's not going to happen.
Well, it's not. But if he wants to do the non-realistic, he needs to do that exactly.
See, the thing, like Canelo could do that because like he's the face of boxing, and there's so much money on the table fighting Canelo, and obviously Boots is with Matchroom, Barros with PBC, Norman's with Top Rank.
Look, so you've got Norman's already like been a diva or whatever, and allegedly ducked or whatever it is. Yeah, I'm not going to get into that. So we know that's going to be tough to make. Barrios, like, who knows what he's doing? He's been fighting on Jake Paul undercards and probably will come back on a PBC undercard against someone. And even with him, would you rather fight Jaron Ennis or Devin Haney for the same money? Or Ryan Garcia? Like, there's a pretty clear option for who he'd rather fight. then you've got Giasov who stepped aside to make this fight happen. He's a WBA mandatory, and then Paddy Donovan's probably going to be the IBF mandatory. So you're going to have to fight both of those as well. Like, you know, it's just not realistic.
Yeah, you know, nothing in boxing is realistic.
Like, or you could just vacate the belts, move up, because everybody knows you're the best at welterweight. Move up, and you've got Virgil Ortiz, like Mitrozaliev, Tim Tszyu, Keith Thurman, like all these guys, man, all these guys that are super welterweight that are far better, and they're far better fights, and you get far more sort of respect, or it does far more for your legacy beating sort of contenders at 154 right now than it does beating Mario Barrios.
And you'd make same amount of money probably.
You make a lot more, I'd say.
Yeah, maybe more.
Can you imagine how
Yeah,
big a Virgil Ortiz Jaron Ennis fight would be?
yes,
That's
massive.
That's a massive pay-per-view headliner.
Yeah, like Undisputed is cool, and it's fine. Like, I get why people want to do it, but you don't have to do it. It's just belts at the end of the day. Like, there's loads of great fighters throughout boxing history who've never been undisputed. Who cares? And like, does it really mean much when you have to be like Mario Barrios to do it?
But look at Pacquiao's run in sort of the early 2000s, mid 2000s.
Look at Pacquiao. He's never been a unified champion in his life. Not even a unified.
Go on.
Yeah, he hasn't been a unified champion at all. No, he hasn't even held 2 belts at once, let alone be undisputed. Like, who cares? He's one of the greatest fighters of all time. No one looks at Pacquiao and be like, oh, he wasn't undisputed. He's not great.
Half his best wins weren't, well, not half, but a lot of his like meaningful fights weren't even for a world title.
They were for WBC international belts where
Whatever it was.
He was being like Morales. Like, I know that was for an international belt.
Yeah.
And we're not getting in a dispute about linear one ring here.
Yeah, it, like, whatever you want to say, like, and this is the thing. Jesse Rodriguez beat Sonny Edwards. Nobody's saying, like, who even had the belts at that point? Artem Dalakian or Julio Cesar Martinez were better. Everybody knows that the winner of this fight is the number one at welterweight. Everybody knows that. He's got the ring title. He's unified. Who cares? Go up a weight and go and fight. Just go and fight anyone at like. The WBA is vacant. You seriously think they're going to say, or he's going to be vacant because Crawford's going up? You seriously think they'll say, right, we're not going to order Jaron Ennis to fight for our vacant title? Or fight Ioannis Tellez for when he gets upgraded, or fight Charlo for it or something? You seriously think they wouldn't do that? You can go and get a title there right now if you're worried about winning belts. You think the IBF wouldn't, like, shoot you right up the rankings at 154 for Mitrozaliev, like, and all these people going on and on and on about undisputed fights. Who cares, man? Nobody cares about Inoue Butler now, do they?
No one cared about it then.
Yeah, exactly. That's probably like exactly. Like, oh, anyway.
It's because like he's so good, and we want to see him in a proper test.
Yeah, this isn't me hating as well. He's really, really good. I want to see him fight the best guys, and the best guys are not at welterweight.
And he's for the best welterweight.
How much better he'd be if he just didn't kill himself.
Yeah, he'd be better as well. Like, maybe he might not look as good because he's fighting better fighters, but he'd be able to perform better, do stuff he might not be able to do at welterweight. Like, you've beat the clear next best welterweight. a bit of a waste of time, really. Like that, let the rest of the worldweights do whatever they got to do, which is probably nothing.
Sit on their belt for as long as they can, basically.
Well, normal will fight. I don't know, TFE eventually, probably. Yeah, Byron's probably fighting Devin Haney or Ryan Garcia, whoever wins their rematch.
But yeah, it's just. And that'll probably be for a unified title as well. Jesus Christ. But yeah, because the WBA regulars on the line for Garcia's fight, isn't it? Jesus.
Brilliant.
But anyway, that's another topic entirely. But yeah, rounding off on this, fantastic performance from Jaron Ennis. Really, really fantastic performance. And yeah, like that's a career best performance. And I just hope he gets the big meaningful fights now. And like doesn't just waste his career fighting guys like Gearsov. Like nobody needs to see that. Nobody.
No.
Moving on. So this undercard, Raymond Ford wins every round against Thomas Matisse. He looks really, really good, but just man, like I don't think he's a puncher. Like I don't think he's a puncher at this weight, and I think he lacks a little bit of killer instinct. But he looked really good.
I feel like he forces it too much. It makes him look worse than he would if he just would calm the hell down at the start of the fight. Like,
Yeah, but like he worked out pretty earlier that if he just throws the backhand then the jab, like Matisse was clueless. If he threw the left hand, then followed it up with a jab and then moved off, Matisse was just he couldn't deal with it and like just repeated that pattern. I don't know, man. I just wanted him to step up the gears and get him out of there, but it was as good as a performance you're going to get over 10 rounds, probably. Good performance.
Yeah, I mean, he dominated. I mean, Matisse didn't really offer much, did he?
it's some showboating, blowing kisses and shit. I'm like, Jesus Christ. It was funny, but please fight.
Like, well, at the very least, I mean, like Raymond Rayford, he's more offensive since he's moved up. Like, that's good. Imagine having to watch like a 126 Ford do that. He'd be boxing on the back foot, barely doing anything. Like pre-Kolmatov.
Yeah, that would have been AIDS.
Like skill-wise, like he has it all. Whether he can punch and hurt these guys or stop these guys is yet to be seen. Or at least the top guys. We'll see. Well, they can't. I mean, they clearly want to stick him in with Nunez. Well, the winner. I mean, everyone seems to think it's Nunez. They didn't. No one even mentioned Rikishi. They're like, "Yep, he's going to be fighting Nunez."
You need to respect Rikishi.
Look.
Rikishi's
That
gonna
fight,
chin him in 2 rounds. No.
I'm picking Nunez in that fight, but that's a close fight, man.
Yeah.
Like,
well, don't rule out Rikishi.
Nunez had issues with Rakhimov.
Nunez is a little, like a tad bit overrated, and it's
No,
not
he's
like
not. He's not a tad bit overrated. He's getting very overrated.
it's just Rikishi's defense has just never looked that great. But Nunez isn't that great either. But it's
Well,
like
Nunez's
not as
defense
bad.
isn't good either.
It's just not as bad as Rikishi's. But
And
Rikishi's
Nunez
a huge 30-pounder.
Yeah, like I said, I'm picking Nunez, but that's not a sure thing by any means. Like he
I'm
could
picking
get
Nunez,
chipped.
but I will be there if Ibuki and Rikishi hold titles at the same time. I will be there. I will.
Definitely. But like, yeah, man. Like, I saw they were doing this with Ford's last fight. Like, they just don't seem to mention any non-matchroom fighters. It's really or any known fighters in the West. Really, like any unknown fighters in the West, I should say. Like the last Ford fight, they just refused to mention Batagaziev, who was the interim champion at the time, who still is. Like, oh yeah, he's going to be mandatory for Lamont Roach. Like, no, he's not, because Batagazir is interim champion, and they keep doing it. The design commentary scene just say, right, there's matchroom fighters and there's fighters known in America, so that's all we're going to talk about.
Yeah, and he won't be mandatory for Lamont Roach either, because he's going to vacate his title.
Yeah, like
he'll be mandatory for Batagaziev when he gets upgraded.
And he won't be mandatory because like there's about 3 or 4 guys ahead of him. Like,
well, look, just give the WBA a bit of money, put him up to number 1, and make it mandatory.
Yeah, there's Russians giving WBA money as well, so it's like it's what it is.
Give them more money than the Russians.
Yeah.
Oh, here's a 4. Fight these guys that are above you.
Yeah, but you won't do that. I Ford should beat Nunes if that fight happens, but I can see him getting chinned. I don't think he punches that hard, and that's the worry for me.
Well, I think it's a favourable style matchup for him, but obviously there's always the power, not just of him, but obviously of Nunes as well. Dangerous.
And the power is stupid.
But, let's see how Nunes looks against Rikichi first.
Yeah. But one thing, it was good to see anybody from Matchroom. That's the certain accounts, Matchroom themselves, anybody in the media, the English speaking media that hangs out Eddie Hearn's backside, mention that Nunes is fighting for the title because they haven't yet. That was the first time I've heard anyone mention it because it's not on a Matchroom show. So well done. They actually mentioned their own fight was going to fight for a world title, so that's good.
Brilliant.
Genuinely, that's the first time they've ever mentioned it. So it's what it is.
They are just horrible at promoting like anybody.
Look, they only care about promoting like a handful of fighters.
You barely even promoted the Unification fight we're talking about.
Yeah, that's not one of the handful of fighters.
Yeah, it's just disappointing. Like Nunes is a really fun fighter, and they could have done such a better job with him. I think, but it's what it is. Anyway, Shakran Gearsov, he actually showed some spite. Knocked out Franco Campo. Like, look, man, this undercard was poor.
Look, he actually put on a good performance.
I'm proud of him under the circumstances.
I don't really want to hate on his performance. Well, some parts of his performance. So, he was good. Could have been better. Shout out to him.
Well done. That opponent was terrible. Like, this undercard was sort of just mismatches. Like, Amari Jones, like, God knows where his opponent came from. That was just a terrible TV product, that fight.
But in brackets, should have stopped him way earlier. You had him out there in the first round.
Yeah.
But, this is like a star performance for Gearsov.
Does he not have like a stoppage in like this decade or something? Like second one this decade. It's been a while.
I wouldn't have been against them stopping that in the first round. Or not letting him out for the second round. Like, he was done, finished. What's the point? But then, Gearsov did Gears things. But then finally stopped him. The body. It was a good body shot. You don't usually see right hands placed in that particular place. It's usually in the solar plexus.
Yeah, it's pretty high in like a weird location.
Like the liver, rib area. You usually just see them right in the pit of the stomach.
It's like all just on the bottom, like the bottom section. It's never that high up.
Oh, it looked like it hurt.
All the body shots just look like they hurt, even if they're like jabs, they just look like death.
Yeah, body shots are weird. Like they don't like hurt, but they debilitate you. And you can't breathe.
And then you can breathe like 30 seconds after the fight.
Yeah, because like
That's
getting
even
hit
aggravating.
and hit like your liver. I mean, you just can't get up. You're getting hit and your solar plexus, you just can't breathe. Yeah. Who else is on the card?
Amari Jones.
Oh yeah.
Terrible opponent. I don't know. Like that, they've got to improve this, man. I got a few screenshots last night to show some people about what Matchroom USA used to put on. So, Estrada against Rungvisai 2, the Henny Roman, Jesse Vargas, Shaq Rangirsov, Anthony Sims, Akhmadliev, Ronnie Rios, Diego Pacheco, and Austin Williams on the card. Danny Roman versus Akhmadaliev, Farmer against Jojo Diaz, Andrade against Luke Keeler, Anthony Sims in the fight he got upset in, and Amanda Serrano defending the world titles. Akhmadliev against Tapales, Raymond Ford, Jesse Magdaleno, Jesse Rodriguez for the vacant WBO fly against Christian Hernandez. Thomas Matisse against Ramiro Susena, which was the fight that Matisse was down in and got a last round stoppage. Like, what is going on with these cards?
They'll have like one good fight at the top, and then they'll just have two other like decent fighters that they have against horrible opponents, and then the rest just worse and worse and worse. It's just not good to watch.
Yeah, and that the actual good fight on the undercard didn't even happen because Popoka's opponent got replaced.
Yeah.
Like,
and then he didn't look good either.
Well, at least he got the stoppage. I guess
He
it took him a while. Yeah, he left that late.
He dropped it multiple times. He couldn't get him out of there until like the final minute of the fight.
Clutch.
I mean, it's just he looks good, but Amari Jones is fighting that level of opponent. Like at least he's active, but I don't know. I don't know about that as a TV product. Like, I get you're trying to build him up, but I don't know.
It was Zaquan Moses' opponent either. It's like
That's before the bell, in fairness, but again, another poor performance. Not poor performance, poor opponent. Sorry.
he's young. It's
they're all young. They're all young.
It's fine, but you don't get anything from this.
We already have enough of these cards from Top Rank. We don't need more of them.
Yeah, it's like Top Rank and Matchroom in America. It's like you get one decent main event, and then you get a load of prospects just knocking out guys that are totally just total mismatches.
Like, even though PBC only have one card a year, at least it's good. Well, I mean, it should be good. They're all pay per view, but at least they're good.
Yeah, I like
5 or 6 fights instead of 10 bad fights. They'll have 6 good fights, maybe 1 or 2 great fights.
And even these type of fights that they have, like a prospect against a random fighter, they won't even show those. They're just so not good. They don't even show those.
Yeah.
On the PBC cards.
I don't mind the before the bell stuff. That is what it is. That's untelevised prelim. You've got to move your prospects along. I get it. But it's when
filler.
It's when Amari Jones is fighting somebody that hasn't had a win in over a decade. 2 fights below a welterweight unification. Like what? And you're telling me you can't put on like a decent like. Look at pro box fights, how like competitive odds wise they are, and how competitive those fights are. You're telling me you can't afford one of those and say to the winner, "We'll keep you on."
I mean, they could afford it. They just don't want to.
Yeah.
Like, look, like Matchroom USA, you're gonna have better fighters than the fighters you do in boxing, but don't match them up the same. We don't need to do prospects, just fighting journeyman. That's not what Americans do. It's what the Brits do, and that's why we're terrible.
They do on Top Rank. Like Top Rank and Matchroom need to up it, man. So do Golden, like it's just so annoying.
Well, usually Golden won't match their prospects up pretty well, but I guess ever since they lost Roberto Diaz as their matchmaker, it's not been great.
But they've got the Boxing Lifer in to do some matchmaking now, haven't they? The Boxing Insider and Boxing Lifer.
Oh.
Mr. Glazer. So, it is what it is.
Yeah. That's pretty why it's terrible.
Like, Zachary Moses is a very good fighter, and Murray Jones is a very good fighter. They'll have really good pro careers. I just don't need to see them fighting guys that are going to take one body shot and quit in the first round or whatever. Or 2 fights below welterweight unification. Like, what's the point? Especially when like the whole card has just been mismatches. I don't need to see it.
Certain accounts love to see it for some reason.
Yeah, it's unfortunate, but anyway, we'll move on to the Pro Box card. Jordan White beat Matthias Romero pretty comfortably on points. William Foster III beat Brandon Benitez on points in a terrible fight. William Foster's just he's a bit terrible to watch, really, for being honest.
It's not that good.
He's not good to watch. And then Stephen Shaw put Raphael Akpiti-Jory, or however you want to say it. I can't pronounce my jury names, but he put him into orbit in about 30 seconds.
I looked over at the screen. I was like, what the? He's hanging off the apron. What happened? And I had to go back. I was like, oh, damn. He got killed.
Yeah, well, that's what heavyweights are supposed to do to people. If you're good, at least, or supposed to be good, or whatever.
Like, God damn.
We sort of said this fight's either going to be really fun and explosive for about 2 or 3 rounds, or it's going to be horrible. And it didn't even go a minute, so I guess we can't really complain.
Oh, it was explosive.
Yeah, it was. It was good. I enjoyed that. That was good. But yeah. Friday, Julio Cesar Cruz isn't going to be a good professional. Simply got nailed by Dylan Prasovic and almost got stopped, and then got up and dropped him 4 times and won the Bridgeweight Eliminator. Gaji Magomedov is going to batter him, bro.
That's nasty. He Jesus Christ. As soon as they all migrated, they just turned this shit. Like most of them, especially him. He's ass.
I was looking at my phone and I look up, and then I see Arlen Lopez on his back, and I'm like, "What the hell has just happened?" And he barely beats the count. It's like, what? Not Arlen Lopez, La Cruz, Jesus. But yeah, that was a crazy fight if you haven't watched it. Arlen Lopez hasn't been training. He beat Martin Blasio over 10 rounds. Arlen Lopez is he's a really good amateur that hasn't been training, and just picture that beating somebody that's totally outmatched over 10 rounds. That's the best way I can describe it.
Just not really giving a damn.
Yeah, he just doesn't care. Lazaro Alvarez, I thought looked probably the promising one out of the 30-plus-year-olds. Beat Miguel Santos by retirement in the 7th. He dropped him in the 7th and really put it on him, and then they pulled him out. He dominated. He looked quite good, but I don't think he'll go far. But Aristide Alvarez, my God, is a good fighter. Like, he was in with a bum. I'm not gonna, like, you know. But he actually did what he was meant to do, unlike the others. And he went out there and he can punch, and he set about him, dug into body shots, dug in an uppercut, and iced him in about 30 seconds. And it was a really good performance. Like, that's what you should be doing to that level of opponent, and he did it.
Yeah, some of these, I guess not prospects. They're 30+ years old, but these like newer pro fighters, they like should be doing these outmatched opponents like something nasty, like early, like
Yeah.
every
They
time.
just don't. They just don't because they're happy to coast the points, and it's really annoying. But Alvarez seems to be really spiteful. Like, I really think he's the best boxer out of Paris, and yeah, I think he's going to go far if he commits. But like, you know, he could just be buried back into the Cuban system for years. You never know. Thursday, talking of good amateurs that like to coast the points, Dimitri Assunção beat Francisco Patera. Assunção is just he is a first gear amateur merchant. He's really good, but he's just a first gear amateur merchant, and like it's just boring to watch. Like, once you've watched a round of it, you've watched the entire fight with him. Like, it's just, yeah. He is what he is. I don't really see him going far. I don't think he can punch. He doesn't send any shots over, but he's really good technically. Like, in terms of, he's a really good technically good amateur boxer.
I hope so. It's
It's
all
just,
he showed, really. That's what most of these amateurs show. They show the technique. Obviously, you're going to have that. You've been fighting the same way for years. But when you get in the pros, you don't know what to do. When someone who doesn't fight like you, like, fights you, and you just are stuck in the same speed, same cadence, like, every round of every fight you're in. Like they need to learn to, like, develop properly and stop staying in amateur mode.
Well, he just needs to. They just got to learn to transition. I mean, it's a completely different style. You know.
yeah, it's not ideal. Yeah. Christopher Guerrero won on points as well. I'd like, he's just okay. Guerrero, I don't really see much upside in him. Like, it is what it is. And John Arobio, I don't know how he didn't stop Sebastian Aguirre, but yeah, he'll be very fun. Like, yeah, and he's with a good team as well.
He just needs to slow the hell down, calm down, stop trying to punch holes through everybody.
Yeah. In fairness, like, he did do it for 8 rounds straight. Like, I agree, but like he has got stamina. I think, like, he didn't just gas out after 4 or 5. Like, he kept going for 8 straight rounds, and I have no idea how, like, the kid survived that beating. But yeah, he's good. He's good. It'll be fun. And yeah, there's not much else to talk about this week unless I've missed something. Oh yeah, I will mention Sorang Vasai lost this morning.
Jesus Christ.
Got dropped.
He needs to finish right now.
He should stop fighting super bantamweight prospects and he should retire. He's done. He's done, man.
See him get dropped like that. See him get dropped like that was nasty.
Yeah.
I need to find the card.
But yeah, it's just unfortunate. Yeah. really weird weekend of boxing. It was one really, really good main fight, and then not much else. But you've got to show out. So yeah. Yeah, thank you for listening.
See you in episode 49.